unstoppable.
Fuck.
Lunch Money Lambert, Jeff Malott. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Yeah. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Kayak Bass Nation. Hey. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation, where we talk about fishing and competition. It's your boy Ox Pippin, aka Ox Fishing. Don't come over here tripping. Hey, hope you enjoy the show. Jeff Malott, Lunch Money Lambert, Lego. Hey, welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Kayak Bass Nation. Yeah, welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Kayak Bass Nation. Hey, welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to KBN Live. We are here on a Monday. Nothing is interrupting us tonight, Ryan. We are in our home studios. I mean, everything is lined up for a good show.
It's perfect. It's perfect.
It's perfect. We got a big show tonight, man. We got 2, maybe 3 guests. I don't know. Did the Tennessee state champ confirm on the back end?
I didn't.
I don't know if he's coming or not, but for sure we've got Travis Randall from Eco Fishing coming in to talk about the 250 off the bat, and then we've got one of the OGs, Steve Owens, who's been on the KBN quite a few times.
Yeah,
been around since the beginning of this thing. To talk about the
Bassmaster himself.
Yeah, man, the Captain Steve. Talk about championship location, and who knows what else we'll get into with him, right?
Yeah, I've tried to look. I don't know if Paris has a new Facebook or no Facebook, but I just tried to look him up, and it's some redheaded anime character as his profile picture. So that may not be what's happening there.
That's all right.
No wonder they didn't confirm.
We got plenty to fill the airways, Ryan. We're good.
We'll be fine.
Yeah, what's going on? What went on with you over the weekend, man? Any fishing? You just chasing kids around? What'd you do all weekend?
I didn't do a daggum thing this weekend, to be honest with you. I watched football. That was about it.
Okay.
And it was glorious.
He scored
I loved
58 points in the first quarter, I think, this weekend.
Yeah. It turns out we've got offense and a defense.
Yeah, pretty crazy. Arkansas gave me anxiety, as they always do. But they won at least.
They did. They seem to have improved a little bit on their finishing game.
Not really.
I found him, Dirk. Don't worry, I found him. It's not the anime girl that I thought it was. So we're back in business.
Yeah. So we always like to give the sponsors a shout out before we get going, but rather than just talking about it, we're going to bring in our title sponsor, Travis Randall from Eco Fishing, to talk about the 250s. Let's get him in here this second. What's up, Travis?
Hey guys, how's it going?
Good. Coming in here looking like a bouncer, all swolled up, shirt sleeves cut off.
Just left the gym, my bad.
Looking like a Margaritaville bouncer.
Yeah, man. It is. I live on the Midwest coast.
Yeah, that's right. Midwest coast. That's what it is. Is everything shut down now up there, man, on around the lake? Because it was pretty wild this summer.
We don't have as much of an off season as we used to. It slows down, but really it won't stop until first sign of cold. But all your water bars and everything will stay open. But a lot of the tourists are gone. We're about to get the lake back here in about another 30 days.
There we go.
My buddies were up there running around on a big tri-engine boat all weekend, bar hopping up on the lake.
Yeah.
So I can confirm it's still open and going strong. I got numerous Snapchats from that adventure.
Oh, it's a mess. It's a mess.
Yeah, fun place, man. And we're going to blink, and it's going to be 250 time. We're about a month and a half out from that. So we wanted you on tonight to talk about how that's setting up and how things are looking as we ramp up to the what is this, the third iteration of the Big Bass 250? Is that correct?
Yep. Third annual, October 26th. We're super excited about it. Giveaways are going to be epic again. I think we're going to have more kayaks than we've had before. And all of our sponsors and all of our partners come through really big on this thing, man. We're going to have a lot of good stuff. Our whole thing on this is just making sure that everybody goes home happy with either something or just amazing stories to tell, and just the camaraderie, man. That's why afterwards, again, we're going to have a fully catered meal, have a cash bar there. A lot of good things going, man. A lot of fun. A lot of sponsors are going to try to come this year, which is going to be kind of cool. Don't exactly know who's going to come, but we invite everyone. Long term, that's what we'd like to turn this into is, Friday, everybody shows up and we have a bunch of vendors where you can go through the vendors, do your check-in, maybe get some special deals on stuff you want to pick up, at the 250. And then the next day you fish all day and go to the dinner and awards banquet and of course the KBN after party, and then you head home.
Oh yeah,
you limp
Again,
home on Sunday.
There you go. For sure, Sunday.
I'm gonna make Steve drive home.
There you go. Well, we have again, we're doing $10,000 for the big bass. Every year it's been great. Last year, some guys out of Nebraska, had a lot of people from Nebraska come up. I think they're going to come strong again. Hoping that Arkansas market gets some guys up here. We'd love to get them going, but man, it seems like we get people from a little further away every time. I think we've had Alabama, several Texas, a Utah, but we're pretty excited about it, man. We're wanting to keep growing this thing and just turn it into just a real celebration of the angler.
Yeah, and if you guys can see there on that poster on the registration page, to register, by the way, go to ecofishingshop.com and you can register there. You can actually put a deposit down and pay the rest later, or pay in full right away right there. And then you'll get the code and go over and sign up on Tourney X. Is that right, Travis?
Yeah, and the only kind of hiccup some guys usually have is just remember when you sign up through the website with us, wait till you get that code to go on to Tourney X, because Tourney X wants to charge you. The code we're giving you is so that you don't have to pay anything with Tourney X. It's not a lot of money, but that's part of your entry fee. So once you're paid in full, you'll get that email. Goes to spam a lot, so look at your spam folder. But yeah, then you go on and you're on the leaderboard on Tourney X, and all the rules, everything you need to know is on there. Another thing we're doing this year is we are giving away 100 kayak cushions. The first 100 entries all get a kayak cushion, and we've already got those in-house. We ordered them. They're awesome. Something we're going to carry at the store, I believe. So anybody looking to pick one of those up, might as well go ahead and enter. It's going to be in that entry fee.
There you go. Is it the ones with Ryan's face on it or no?
No,
I don't know what happened to that run of those. I don't think that product was ever even delivered to the intended owner. So we're really going to have to figure out who's sitting on. Never mind.
Yeah. No, man, we're excited though. We're excited for you guys to be part of it and helping out. And Jonathan and I put a lot of time into this, and Caleb and Jared, they invest a lot in this. This is 100% not a moneymaker. By the time we spend all the money for the event center, the catered meals, we hire judges. It's not a moneymaker, but it's just something how we give back, and we get a chance to really be in front of a lot of guys. And then, like I said, we've paid out more than we've brought in the last 2 years, because the payouts, we want it to matter. We want the guys to feel good about it. So even when you take the money and divide it out, we've still put on top of that. Caleb and Jared have been gracious enough to add money to that every year, just to make sure guys go home feeling like they won something,
KBN is providing the cornhole tournament and live music out of our marketing budget. Jeff, I meant to tell you that.
Okay.
There you go.
We got that, man. Let's see if I can get this to work right. Okay. I want to zoom in on this because there's not another tournament out there that does this in the kayak world. That's for sure. But you're reading that right. Guaranteed Big Bass pays $10,000. Explain
Seems
that,
like a
Travis.
lot.
That's not based on entry fees. That's not based on how many people. That's one fish, 10 G's, right?
Doesn't matter if there's 2 people or 200. We're paying $10,000 to one person for one fish. And, last year, the guy who won first place in the tournament also won the $10,000 big bass. The year before that, it was different. The guy who won first place wasn't the guy who won that one big bass. So I wanted to do that from day one. That way, if, just the average guy, you just got to get one fish, for the big money. But man, it's cool. First year, we had a guy buy his kayak on Thursday, got in the tournament on Saturday, and ended up finishing in the top 10. Never kayaked before, was a great stick. He was a good fisherman, but had never really kayak fished before. That's really what we wanted to do. I want our tournament anglers in it. But I also want it to be an opportunity for somebody looking to get into the sport that just wants a fun camaraderie tournament. And like I've said before to you guys and to others, definitely not knocking any other series or any other tournaments. But a lot of the tournaments, you go to the it's about the tournament. It's about the competition. After the tournament, you go to a parking lot or a pavilion, you do some quick giveaways, stand up with a poster, take a picture, and you go home. Those are great. No problem with them whatsoever. We just want to do something different where if you finish last place in this, it could still be the funnest thing you've done all year. Because at the end of it, you go back with a bunch of like-minded people, a bunch of people that love the sport that we all love, and you eat, drink, hang out, talk, and it's cool. It's cool seeing a table full of Nebraska guys and Texas guys together, and Missouri and Arkansas, just a little bit of everybody, guys that know each other and guys that don't. Hearing the stories and that's what I wanted to do this for, and that's what Eco Fishing Shop is bought in, and that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to do a kayak tournament experience, and what we're hoping is guys will do our tournament, and then they'll go home and they'll call up the Steves and Joshes and all these guys and say, hey, I love that. I want to start doing my local trails, and I want to start doing these tournaments. Just trying to get more people in the sport.
Yeah, there you go. And I think it will. I've had boots on the ground there last year, man. I had a blast. It was even cold and rainy, and it didn't bother a person. I mean, the place, the after tournament weigh-in was packed. People had great food. The guy standing on both sides of me went at the back of the room when I was talking to him, won a Newport and something else. I didn't win anything, but I still had to be there. That was my memory, Travis. I got to watch my buddies win some stuff, so that was cool.
Hey, that's what it's all about.
Unbelievable event, man. It was so fun. So I can't wait for Ryan, Steve-O, and some others from the south, the mighty southeast, to roll up this year.
There you go. It's going to be a great time. Looking forward to seeing you guys there. And anybody has any questions, give us a shout. Ecofishingshop.com, Travis at ecofishingshop.com. If you want to email me, call the shop, stop by, whatever you need to do. We'll help out any way we can, get people in this.
There we go.
Sounds good. Looking forward to it, man. It's going to be great.
Awesome.
All right, Travis, we'll go get you some protein recovery drink or whatever you're going to do, and we'll have you on again here soon, and we'll talk some more about this 250.
Red meat, baby. Red meat.
There you go.
All right, take it easy, man.
Later, man. Travis Randall, everybody. There we go.
There we go.
Looking forward to that, Ryan? I think it's going to be a good one.
I am. It's going to be fun. I just want to throw cornhole and listen to some good music. Chill out.
Yeah.
Ready to end the season the right way.
That's right. And, Eco Fishing, of course, they're running this event, but they are the title sponsor of the show, so shout out to them. If you need anything before that tournament or before your state championship tournament, whatever's coming up, hit up ecofishingshop.com and get with them and get what you need.
Now bring it to your door.
Yeah. Try to get that Western Sun vodka and help with that cash bar. We can do a little non-cash bar, do some free Western Sun up there. That'd be all right.
Oh, my goodness.
Or maybe we should charge, too. I don't know. Is that legal?
We should charge, definitely. Yeah.
Is that like running moonshine? Can we bring it up there and charge for it?
We've already said it on air now, so I feel like we're
free.
Pretty committed at this
It'll
point.
Be free. Yeah, and then Pro Guide Lithium. I'll bet you there'll be some Pro Guides given away up there. I know Travis and those guys are a dealer for Pro Guide, so can't wait for them for all the different vendors that are going to get involved with that 250. So that's going to be awesome. And then tonight, as you heard already, Seaguar we're going to give away a Seaguar pack tonight. So get with Ryan at the end of the show. Z-Man was last week. We'll get Revo back in the mix next week, and then probably gonna need some Gill fishing gear as the fall rolls into
Yep.
getting cold.
Clock
and
is ticking.
rainy.
We got hurricanes and tropical storms rolling in. Steve will tell us a little bit about that as they fish the Cass State Championship this past weekend, and of course had some weather. Because why wouldn't you?
Yeah, that's right. So find your people, get them up to the Big Bass 250. We want it to hit 250, cap out at 250. That'd be awesome. Let's get old Steve-O in here. He's been watching, giggling, shaking his head at us.
Not Steve.
Yeah. What's up, Steve?
Hey man, how y'all doing?
Good.
Good. How was the state championship? I saw Paris Edwards won his second state championship,
Yeah.
if I recall correctly.
Yeah, it turns out Old Hickory does have big fish. They're just concentrated in a few areas, but
Just
it was
right where
kinda
he
neat.
fishes.
Yeah, like I was talking with Bostic and even Paris, and they were saying there you'll find schools of fish, and it'll have one or two big ones in it, and a bunch of small ones where typically a lot of bigger fish will school up together. But anyway, the tournament we had a blast. Daniel Morris and them did a phenomenal job putting it all together. With TVKA guys, we always have a pretty good time with the after hours stuff. So
Yeah, I saw some nice
we had-
garage footage, and looked like maybe some karaoke or something was happening.
So it turns out, Jesse Clark got the house, and Daniel don't get too addled about much, but he was just like, man, we got no parking. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? Because we all got trailers, and we don't want to mess these people's yards and cost Jesse his deposit money and stuff. And so I said, man, it always works out. And so Jesse got on Google Earth, found where we can all park and everything. And as he's coming in, these very rural neighbors pull up.
So Old Hickory is in Nashville. So don't think that they're like out in the mountains on the West Virginia line or something. Let's be clear on that.
So these very rural people come by and start chatting it up, Thursday, Friday as they drive by. And evidently every weekend they have friends over for a cookout and karaoke stuff. And so we were back at the house just exhausted because, we fish 8 hours on Friday from 11 to 7. And then you go to bed and get up crack of dawn and fish the morning portion for 8 hours the next day. And then you go to the dinner and you're wore out. And so we were just sitting there watching Tennessee's fourth string get put in and just having a good time.
Well, what, was it the second quarter?
I think so, yeah, right before halftime. Yeah, so we gotta get this, yeah. And so we ended up just, Walters was with us. Walters, he won our TVKAOY, and he finished, we thought, third in the tournament at the time, and he ended up doing it. We were like, you know what? Let's just go. He's a reactor operator up here. He's always working. So we're going to go up there for about an hour. We end up having a freaking blast. Yeah. So it turns out one of the homeowners, it was her birthday, actually, is an older woman. And yeah, we made her night coming up there, and yeah, it was pretty epic. So yeah.
I hate that I missed that part.
Yeah,
I don't like fishing in September. Did we not do this in October on Kentucky Lake? Wasn't it in October?
We did it. That was a year because John had a Bassmaster at Smith, and we were trying to help that attendance. So we shoveled our Cass State Championship further back, and
I like it better further back. I like watching that Tennessee Alabama game, holding on to you so tight.
Yeah, I'm not watching it this year. I guarantee you, I will not be watching that game this year.
That's fine. That's fine, Steve.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
How was the weather? Did y'all catch that tropical storm? Did it give you anything? It didn't look too bad on Friday when I was on the road, of course, but I'm sure it looked a little
Friday
different on the water.
Had a little bit of wind. Saturday, I fished with Joe. He saved the day. Joe Kirk saved the day. Found a bunch of fish for, it's a team event too, inside this cast event. And so Saturday it rained, just a small drizzle for about 15, 20 minutes. And then right as we all got back to the house, it rained like ridiculous for about an hour, and then it quit. But no, the fishing was great. Weather was good. I got the old raccoon mask. Forgot my sunscreen and all that. And so I'm burnt. So yeah, the weather ended up turning out.
We know last week we tried to get you on. We tried to shuffle things around far enough, but we couldn't. We couldn't make it far enough down the line to clear Bassmaster's legal department. So give us the announcement that we were trying to drop hot on here. You've got a classic championship lake picked out, it looks like.
Yeah, if you hadn't heard, we're fishing Lake Fork for the Yamaha Right Waters Bassmaster Kayak Series Championship next year. held in conjunction with the Bassmaster Classic, sponsored by Jockey Outdoors. So yeah,
Jockey, the underwear people.
yeah. They
Oh,
make
hell yeah.
fancy. They make fancy clothes too, because they won't let me wear just my underwear up there. So
Well, tell them to. Are they giving out draws at check-in or anything?
yeah, we'll see what we can get. That would be phenomenal. That would be great.
Yeah, I'll take new
pack of
underwear before
boxers.
Christmas every time.
Yeah, that would be great. So, yeah, we're pretty excited about it. You know, it took a long time, as all contracts do, and so, but that was really the only lake I reached out to when we knew we were going there. Got with Eric Lopez and them that do the scheduling for elites and everything, and they gave me a contact and chased her down, and finally she called me back. Took just 2 or 3 weeks, and then so you go through a little bit of education process, but they had already knew because Bassmaster has been there before, and we had 3 regular season events. Nate Gloria won one, Cody Milton won one, and then Garrett Morgan had the 200-inch tournament when we went to the
At the
2-day format.
At the ice bowl.
Yeah. And so
It shouldn't be
so, yeah,
frozen
man.
this year, so that's good.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Texas has been kind of wonky the last 3 or 4 years. So
Hell,
man,
it'll
I
be
hope it's
90
not.
it'll be 90 by March. It'll freeze in February and be 90 by March.
If y'all just all start driving EVs, that stuff would stop. That's what they say.
Yeah, it definitely would stop, and so would your vehicle.
Yeah,
You let the power go out and
Absolutely.
try to charge one of them units, and you'll really be loving it.
Yeah. Charge it on joy and sunshine. That's what we'll do.
Keep burning dinosaurs.
So yeah, man, Lake Fort, legendary lake. I know when Bassmaster announced the classic there, people were clamoring for Fork, right, Steve? But I know there's a lot more to it than just say, yeah, we'll go there. You had to work out all the logistics and whatnot. But was that like you said, was that the goal from day one? Once you got Texas on the map, there was try to get it to Fort.
it was. I looked because Scotch and some others mentioned the other 2 lakes, Eagle and another one, or I think that's what they were, but that's not big enough. Those 2 even combined, it'd be really hard to do that. And so I looked at a few others that I just put up a poll like I always like to do just to get feedback. And it just they're all really good lakes, but it was just like Fort has got to be where it is. And so they pretty much let us do what we want to do as long as I get the good feedback from you guys out in the community. And I reached out, and it, like I said, it took a couple of weeks, but people were busy. But then after that, man, she and I talked. It took probably about a good 3 months to get everything finalized and dialed in, for her to take it to her bosses to get it approved and everything. But she had already mentioned it to them in passing, and they were on board and happy with it. And because booking us helps grow the relationship for another event, whether it be college or high school or an elites or an opens. And so Lake Fork's pretty happy to have us there.
I think it's a fitting championship lake too. Like, there's been some of the championships where, on lakes that may not have been, bucket list lakes or really highly sought after fisheries. But like, you've done one on Chickamauga, you're doing one on Fork, like you're starting to, whittle it down. And I think that's part of the draw for people is wanting to qualify for that. And I know, obviously this is announced later in the season as the season's coming to an end here, but I think that's going to help numbers draw for the Bass Nation championships that are still up in the air. And then obviously Caddo to cap off your season.
Yeah, I think so. Already got, registrations are always kind of slow towards the end of the year. We got a Hobie coming up this weekend on Chickamauga, so people that are going to double dip have to register for it. Registration's still open until Wednesday this week, I believe, for it. And we've got Tennessee Bass Nation State Championship coming up. We've got a Georgia one coming up. Well, it's after Caddo,
Yep.
So it's I understand, and looking at next year's schedule, I'm still working to try to find something
Big
out
Bass
west.
Barnett, Chickamauga sucks.
Yeah.
It's September Barnett, everywhere sucks.
Yeah, no kidding.
Did I see that dude has a 2018 national championship thing as his profile pic?
Hey,
He's
Barnett,
holding on
buddy,
to-
listen, if you
He's
want to talk
holding
about
on.
not changing, he's wore the same shorts ever since I've met him.
Hey, that's all right. Hats off, man. Hold on to the memories.
There ain't no change in Barnett. He is the same person every time. Every time you see him.
I like that.
Yeah.
He's supposed to teach me how to play golf. I got to get with Barnett. He's going to give me some swing coaching, I think.
All right. Good. Steve, one question for you. I had to ask it tonight. Has there been any thought into changing the name of the championship to the Kayak Classic?
I have no idea. Never had a conversation about that with anybody. So
people change it
classic's
anyway.
going to be the classic. Yeah. Classic will probably just always be the classic.
We've got a segment of kayak anglers that refuse not to call it that.
And I still find myself guilty of, the classic championship. Like I have to group them together because you end up at the classic on the stage. Yeah. So that's just how my tiny mind works.
I should just stop worrying about it and let them live, right?
No, I want you and Jay to beat this horse until it's all the way in the ground. I don't.
Jeff, you're still bringing up umbrella rig banning as a platform against forward-looking sonar.
I will never not.
I don't know. If you're gonna let them live scope, let me throw a damn A rig, man. Come on.
I don't care about the rig. I'm just talking about the quote used when they did it.
Yeah, I know. He's hung up. You could just tell. It's like it's like, how long did you carry that around in your pocket like a Bible verse, studying it till you could remember it?
Steve, I've used that and probably no less than 3 dozen different threads over the last 4 years. It's ready. It's like a bullet in the chamber. It's ready.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Anyway, I gotta relax. Man. But yeah, the championship's coming up. The last chance to qualify for that on the national stage, right, is coming up at Caddo, also Texas, Louisiana. Anyway, how's that looking so far? You said I know registration's a little slow towards the end of the year, but what are you expecting there? Big turnouts, big push for Fork there at Caddo.
Yeah, well, as my buddy Ryan will tell you, I am the worst person at prognosticating how many people's going to be in a tournament. Man, we've been so blessed and just, I know luck ain't the best word for a lot of things, but it also is. We're averaging 216 through 4 events.
That ain't luck, Steve. People didn't accidentally click the register button in 4 events this year.
Yeah. Well, a lot of things have to happen for things to go well, for people to buy in and trust what you're doing. So, I mean,
they had to hire Steve-O. Tell the truth. I told him from the first time we had you on here, that ain't luck, that's smarts.
I figure I always hope 160, 180. I would love for this one to get over 200 as well. Every time somebody goes to Caddo, it always has a high attendance. But with me having to book where I have, we're the weekend after the Lone Star Throwdown and the weekend before the Big Bass 250. So I feel like having to go in October kind of split some things. And I'm working on trying to not do that next year, but it's almost impossible because I'm not putting you guys on the water in August and September, in very many places. And even when it comes to October, there's not a ton of fisheries that I would, like we all try to plan, is I don't want to go somewhere I wouldn't want to fish or something like that. And so October is a really good month for several different fisheries over August and September. So I do want to try to get out October next year because, like we mentioned, we need events like the Big Bass 250 to do well. We really do. And I don't want to do anything to hurt things like that.
Well, and we've had the TOC down on Caddo in the fall where Brian Nelly won, and there were, it fished really well. It fished different. If you go back and listen to that podcast episode, it fished different than it does in the spring, but it's still, Caddo is such a healthy fishery. There's so many big fish in there. That I have a hard time thinking people aren't going to want to jump at that one to cap the year off.
Yeah, I know there's a little bit of a water drop on on Caddo and Bistineau, but like you said, there's, when I mention Caddo, as I talk to our little circle we all soundboard off of, Risers spent an hour. Adam Riser spent an hour just going over everything. Like he was pulling out everything he could think of for it to make certain that a Caddo event was happening. And so, that just says, one of those where you could go every year. And I know fatigue is a real thing because, like Jeff mentioned a little bit ago, we are still kind of you got to have a bucket list on almost all of these events, especially your championship. And next year, I hope most of the destinations I come up with are bucket list. And then in 26, if we're still around, I want to look at a majority of the schedule being.
If we're still around.
Yeah. Man,
Steve-O's paid the bills for the next 6 years.
Yeah. Y'all seen Colorado? What's going on in Colorado nowadays, man? I don't know.
You talking about the football?
No, yeah. No kidding, man. I never thought that dude would be I just go ahead and say it. I think he's kind of turned into a clown.
Yeah.
But
we will not have beyond slander.
But I would like for most of 2026 to be places we hadn't been to in 5 or 6 years, or maybe never even before. You know,
I like it.
Yeah. So.
I like seeing new lakes on there. I do.
Yeah, but then like you said, like right now, you know, I've got an April and October event that I've been working on for 6 months, and then my schedule will be done. You know, I had these other ones booked, 3-4 months now, but these places just don't understand what we do, or they do understand what we do, and their city that we're hosted out of don't get all of the hotel stays. So they're like, we're not interested. So we really need everybody to stay, in the town. If
we got some smart asses in these comments, Steve, and I hate this. But what Steve is, we talked about this the other day. The way these communities view things is how many people are drawn into that community that's putting forth the money. And honestly, the way they measure that is with hotel stays. I know everybody likes to stay in Airbnbs and everybody hangs out at the house or whatever, but at some point, I think there's going to have to be some kind of encouraging shift to try to stay in these hotels just for the sole purpose of helping show on paper the numbers that these tournaments are drawing. Because it doesn't do any good when they put out that money. And yes, they're getting the money in the community with you stopping at gas stations or eating dinner and that kind of stuff. But they can't, it's hard for them to judge, this person was here, for this fishing tournament or whatever. If we're all just spread out, scattered around, only 20% of us are staying in that community, period.
Yeah, we need to come up with an official hotel or two. That'd be cool.
I mean,
everybody in the same building.
Old Dad threw out the idea there. I'm not saying mandatory, but highly suggested.
Can you imagine? Imagine a building full of kayak anglers, dude.
We did that at the TOC in Knoxville. We all stayed at like the Drury Inn or something, and it was hilarious because there's 50 people out at midnight rigging shit up. Me and Shane had to fish his keys out of the hotel elevator shaft. He dropped his keys down. It made for some entertainment. There's some people that hate to fish in the comments. Bob Baylor, tournament on Del Hollow in December. So clearly you've never done that shit, buddy, or you would already know. And Daniel Davis confirms Tennessee Bass Nation 12-7. We call it the Cold Hands Classic because it is miserable every time I've ever fished it.
Remember, man, Bob Baylor's from the north. He's not a
buddy. I don't care. When you get out there and you can't feel your fingers, my cell phone died trying to submit one single fish all day long. Like it was freaking.
You ain't going to scare off.
I was ready to walk home. If it wasn't Jackson's 14th birthday or whatever we were up there to celebrate, I would have got straight out of that place.
Grizzled old raccoon hunter Bob Baylor ain't going to be scared off by a little cold, man.
Jim Baird says kayak security is an issue at hotels. We had, someone had, I don't know who, had like an AR with a 50-round drum mag riding around up there. We were secure as could be.
I love hotels. These Airbnb clowns don't make me coffee in the morning first thing. I like hotels. Man.
Yeah. I get it. I'm mostly a Verbo Airbnb. I make sure it's in that area, but it is harder to stay in a hotel. It's sometimes it is a lot less money though if you don't have 5 or 6 people going in with you.
Does that Airbnb do those numbers transfer over directly or as easily to the communities? Some
do, not even the ones that do, they don't. I guess their cut isn't as big as a hotel tax, but which is fine because I mean they not that they're taking that money and robbing it. I mean, they're using that for their community. That's their job. So I get it. And by no means are we scolding anybody for not staying at a hotel. I'm just saying, if you decide to, that helps us a lot, because what I was really doing was just peeling back the curtain a little bit for some people, like we always do, and just educate a little bit on why it takes so long to get a schedule sometimes. It's because you have to plead
and that
your
reflects
case.
some of the communities that are willing to spend the money too. That, you know, that can narrow down your pool of choices, because not everybody sees that return on a 200 kayak angler tournament coming in. So, you know, I think as the angler, you know, trying to support, if they're getting to go where they want to go, that's going to factor in. If you want to go out in the middle of nowhere to a lake you've never heard of, then okay, then you're doing great. You know, build a house, pitch a tent, whatever you want to do.
Well, yeah, like Johnny Maddox said, sometimes parking is. I literally have a lake that I was talking with that we wanted to bring, you know, a college event to, which is huge for their economic impact, but they literally declined because their hotels aren't built with parking lots that can have boat trailers. So a college event would not do them any good. So that's just part of the process, and we know. But you know, I really wish the schedule was ready. But you know, I'm still pushing here. Going to move on from one and start looking for another one, and hopefully, with by Caddo we'll have it. But we'll do what we can.
There we go.
You know, if you've ever go ahead.
Now, say the oldest trick in the book is just tell them you're going to put 1,000 beds in the hotels and 1,000 heads on beds.
Yeah, 1,000 beds.
I've got
heads,
an economic
boys.
impact, because we were working a little bit with iHeart New York, and they have an economic impact from I forget what it was, and it was like 350 5-night hotel stays, and I was just like, there's nothing in the world that brings maybe a Comic-Con or something, but I don't know.
Comic-Con.
That's what we need to start doing, is some sort of dress up event in conjunction with a fishing tournament, so people can put on their costumes.
If the wrong person walked in, they'd think it was a Comic-Con, Steve.
That's very true. All the jerseys and get out there. What are y'all dressed up as? Professional anglers.
Yep.
You ever heard the term PKA?
Dude, Siddiqui got PKA on his license plate. He got the originator of the PKA slander. got PKA on his license plate.
Hey, the other day I was talking. There's a guy, Luther Blizzard, that's going to fish with us some. He's from Alabama. He and I worked together at BASF 25 years ago or something like that. And he reached out and started kayak fishing with NACA. He's going to fish with TBKA and Alabama, Tennessee Bass Nation stuff. And we were on the phone the other morning. I was taking Big Head Nephew to Gunnersville to fish, and he was coming too. And he says, Luther's got a doggone country voice. He said, I was looking, you and Ryan Lambert, friends there. He said, I think it's his sister-in-law knows you and said you're a professional fisherman.
So there you go.
I said, that's an easy.
Yeah, as long as you hadn't looked at any of my tournament results since the incident.
Yeah.
Bless.
Hey, man. Pro.
Well, hi to Luther's sister-in-law.
That's it.
Shout out Sheila. I miss you, girl.
Yeah.
There we go. So, Steve, you were talking about the upcoming schedule release that you hope to have wrapped up. Any wild changes or locations we can expect with that? Or are we looking at kind of a rotation of some of the familiar names? Can you even go there?
We're going back to one that was on the schedule this year, and I think that's it. Maybe, that's it. And I am still working on something out west. I've got hopefully a pretty good lead. Still want to do that. If I can get something out west, I can add a 6th event for them. But if I don't, then we're staying at 5. But it's the West Coast.
Is this Jay Wallen? Does anybody know? Bluegrass bodybuilding and fitness.
He turned 40 and changed his name on there.
He done got that girl pregnant. Now he's he's turned his life around.
He's on that keto-based fitness over there. That's what he's doing.
Yeah.
You can't help it, Jeff. You can't help it. Yeah. I love it.
Hey, man. It's good for you.
Any other changes might be some rule stuff, we kind of get.
Are you outlawing forward-facing sonar?
No, and it's I'm calling it. Yeah.
Nope.
Yep. I've got that Excel sheet to go over next, and so hopefully in the next couple of weeks we'll get our rules hammered out. I feel like off limits, practice, pre-fishing, all that are pretty sound, and most people are used to them. And so I think we just kind of ride with what we have. There's a few things I missed on a little bit that I might tweak and go back and just make sure there's all kinds of clarity on it so that, it can't happen again.
Oh, just messing with you, Zach. Welcome to the nation, pal.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh.
We know him now. Yeah, no, we're not. We're not two motors. I'll probably find something else to do for a living if I were forced to do that. I'm not doing two motors on a kayak. It's just not safe.
Danger.
I'm not going to sit out there all day long and worry about somebody like Ramel and you guys were talking. I think Jeff, not to give him more credit than he deserves already tonight, but he'd mentioned the pendulum. When you've got two motors, just swoop, and there you go. Fat man like me's bobbing out there on Lake Murray. Can't pull myself back up in the kayak. So
there you go.
It just that's where I'm at with it.
How do we hide our comment section, Jeff? I'm getting way
I don't know what's going on here, man.
Way too distracted. I'm like,
it's a full moon. Isn't some kind of harvest moon starting or something like that?
Yeah.
I looked out there at the moon. I made direct eye contact with it, and it looked like it was harvesting, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah. He's not a bodybuilder, man. He's this guy right here. He's a backup quarterback for the Broncos.
Oh, well, hell yeah, brother! You may want to call the University of Kentucky and see if they can get you on the field so they can finish a Georgia game.
Yeah, come on back to college. I was going to ask you about the rules, Steve. How do you think the changes from 2023, 2024 have been received, and are you happy with how those went with the launch, predetermined launches, things like that? Those changes, were those well received and have been adapted where you think those are going to be set moving forward?
I feel like they're a good thing. Of course, not that people are like raising Cain, but people just say, hey, I disagree with this or whatever, and then we move on from it. But it's all been really well received. Hadn't had any issues with people launching where they shouldn't. Really had very few infractions all year long, to be quite honest with you. So people are reading and paying attention to it for the most part.
I think that, and we haven't seen many giant bullshit scandals since rule changes were implemented, and I think that kind of tells you if you're heading in the right direction with the rules. Like when you can cut out most of the gray area stuff and there's not just some big debacle at most of these tournaments, I think that reflects that you're doing it the right way. And then when you see the numbers that you've continued to pull all season long, like that's all the feedback you need. I don't think there's any other checklist you need to worry about.
Yeah, I think anything that gives the anglers a sense of, I don't know if security is the right word, but just gives the overall event comfort, credibility, trust, where they're like, you know what, at least we're all in the same arena here. We're all on the same water. We're doing our thing. And I think the predetermined launches did that. So.
And people, and we all know this, especially all three of us sitting here right now, people are going to find something to complain about no matter what, especially if the people had a bad day. They're going to look for why somebody that had a good day did it the wrong way. Like that's what's going to happen. So that part's always going to be there. But if you have these rules in place, you have these captains meetings that are detailed, that point out certain things at each event, I think that kind of safeguards you against, any massive social media blowback.
Yep. Pretty easy. The easy button.
We had maybe a few additions. I feel like, it's now that we're all where we are and everybody's got a lot of familiarity with things. Time back to the ramp, day one, day two, stuff like that, or not necessarily day two, because if you're, the event's over, if you want to stay out and start sticking them, because you're not in the money or something like that. I'm not going to tell you to quit fishing, so just, make it back to the ramp in time, which we used to always have that kind of thing. And we kind of, over time, let those things go. And for me, that'll help tremendously with, because a lot of you guys, and I'm grateful for it, will message me, hey, had a good time. I'm heading on. And Dirk, I absolutely came out of character about your cooler to the people that are supposed to give it to you. It's been 2 years.
Is that whose cooler we were talking about the other night at Tremont?
That's it. Yeah. Yep.
He did, in fact, lay down the law, Dirk. You will have a cooler. Don't you worry, pal.
Yeah. So, yeah. Didn't mean to squirrel over there, but, yeah, so. Yeah, but it'll help me, because I'll know you all, made it back to your ramp, and I'm not sitting there trying to vet fish and make sure the numbers and all that are correct, and then worry about somebody, in a windstorm somewhere. So, yeah.
Yeah, I wonder.
Not much.
Yeah, coming down the pipe, and this is a question for Dwayne, but as all these apps develop and keep developing, and technology keeps getting better, I just wonder if at some point you'll be able to have tournament directors will be able to have a map overlay. Like an Uber map almost, where you got live views of where everybody is on the map.
That'd be something.
From a safety perspective,
from a lot of perspectives, that would be
yeah,
a very beneficial upgrade.
Yeah, see them all and where they're moving to and all that for the camera boat, for safety, for everything.
Yeah.
That'd be a legit add-on.
We still got some people that ain't got all their scruples, and they'll come in on them. They'll be on that app looking and
no, TDs. TDs only.
No,
okay.
Just you.
Gotcha.
No, hell no. We ain't burning spots. There's enough of that going on now. I think burning people's spots and pre-fishing should probably be something that's looked at too.
There's
social
some,
media. There's a couple areas for improvement there.
Man.
Hey, fishing with Gramps, man. Talking about he's coming to Caddo for the first time ever.
Yeah, he came to Susky. That was his first Bassmaster event, and and so
wasn't a bad time up there. I hear.
No, yeah, we had a good time.
It's one of the sweetest caribou I've ever met.
I don't think you can say this on the internet, Jim. Hole buzzards.
Jim is probably. Jim's probably high right now. He boiled some TRDs trying to get their shape back. Earlier, he was messaging me. He's like, if I boil these, and I was like, dude, just try it. What's the worst that could happen? He's like, I'm pretty sure this is toxic gas. So Jim will probably be stuck off in a mud hole again tonight. I'll be on the way to pull him out.
Bless him. Down there screaming about hole buzzards stuck in the ditch.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. A lot of folks throwing kudos your way, Steve. Well deserved. If you got any questions for Steve about the upcoming Caddo event, championship location, schedule for anything at all, Bassmaster or Tennessee, Georgia Bass Nation, whatever, drop them in the comments. We'll get them over to Steve. It's going to be good. Fishing with Graham said he's that dude coming swinging for the fences for a PB. You don't have to swing for the fences. Just do your thing, and you could run into a PB at Caddo, right?
Yeah, just drag a Cinco around, and you'll probably bump into one down there. Randy said Jim is rarely sober. That's why we get along, Randy. That's why we stay in the same Airstream communities when we travel.
There you go. Good stuff, man.
We got some people. I think we got about 10 people from Mexico coming up for Caddo.
Really?
Oh shit!
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. They've been met some of those guys that run that stuff down there at iCast, and they've been going back and forth because they're building. Their Bass Nation down there is very healthy, and so they want a kayak community. So they're starting it, and I think they've already got 11 tournaments because they're so spread out. That way the people don't have to travel so much for it.
So coming from there, Steve, going to Caddo, they probably don't feel like they're going after giants, right? Because those lakes down there in Mexico, they're full of giants.
Yeah. Big cartel, sugar-fed.
Whoa!
Cartel bass?
I've heard of the sharks. I don't think they drop off bundles in the bass lakes down there. I think that's just being carried by car.
They don't scream we got weights and fish down there, man. It's they've got Ziploc bags and fish down there.
Yeah, them fish swimming fast as hell down there, boy.
We got fentanyl and fish.
Live scope ain't doing any good on them things.
Jeez.
Oh man.
Hey, speaking of goat, Bubba Jones, Randall Wallace won another Angler of the Year down in Alabama.
Shocker.
Shout out to Randall.
Well, fill us in on what's coming for Tennessee and Georgia Bass Nation, man. I know you got your hands all over that, making sure that's got that off the ground, and those two have kind of been models for what the rest of the country's trying to do with the Bass Nation.
Yeah, so obviously the same as we do with Bassmaster, been reaching out, trying to pencil in, the lakes people would like to go to, drop some out of the rotation. And so I feel like, our attendance in Georgia actually was really, really good. Like it grew again last year. So I think we'll stay with 8 in Georgia. Tennessee, we were, up there in the 70s somethings again, I believe. So should probably do 10 there. Potentially trying to mix in the Bill Dance big opens that they have into 2 or 3 of those, where we'll just have traditional Tennessee Bass tournament fishing in conjunction with the Bill Dance Big Bass Splash, and we'll have an hourly big bass payout just like the boats do, and we'll have the whole stage set up. We can use the screen, when people submit, because there's people hang out at those, and so, or we can at least record it like there are people out there watching it, and so we'll try to make it a thing, but don't want to mess with too much because people are supporting it, and so don't want to raise entry fees. For that one, we would probably have to add $25 to it and make that the big bass payout. $25 would be substantial. So let's just say, we come to Chick and we get another 89 people in it, then that's a huge big bass payout. And so, but I feel like being able to partner with them here in Tennessee will help us tremendously because of the advertising you get off of being a part of that Bill Dance thing. So,
and for us here locally with Tumlin and Shane Frazier, kind of running the deal, that I feel like that gives a lot more bandwidth to it. That's a whole lot more reach and clout here in the state of Tennessee, is partnering with people that you know and you trust, and you kind of know what their end goal is, and they've been super successful at everything they've touched. So I think getting in on that on the kayak side is going to be huge.
Yeah, so that's what we got there. We got the Tennessee Bass State Championship coming up on Guntersville the first weekend of October, and then the weekend before Thanksgiving, the Georgia Bass Nation State Championships on Hartwell. And so just trying to get those lined out.
I'm trying to get the fork, baby. I'll be at Hartwell, damn it.
Yeah. I need to message y'all. There's a lodge there that Neil Paul gave for us to try to support. It's a pretty cool deal. They got fishing cabins and right there close to a good restaurant and a pub and all that. And so
you got me. You got me hooked.
Yeah,
is there a good dock with a bunch of fish on it right out in front? Because that's really about all I'm looking for out there, I think.
Absolutely. So yeah, we just keep building those and plugging away, and our sponsors are seeing a return on what they put into the event, and I run the GSM tournament on Guntersville every year too, and so that's helped me plug in Yamamoto and Phoenix rods and Dobbins now and Bill Lewis stuff and Buckeye, and so it gives us a load of prizes to hand out, which people are always appreciative of, and so that's about it. Just try to keep it going. So Boss Lady lets me continue to do it. So she'll always let me do the Bassmaster and dugout, but Tennessee and Georgia, I have to work my butt off to make sure that those I'm not pulling out of Sweet Daddy savings over here. She sits there with that coin purse saying, so I got to make sure
somebody's got to keep an eye on you, or that house be full of shoes and baseball cards.
That's right, man. Golly.
Todd Martin just dropped in the comments, man. He said he got the Wisconsin Bass Nation State Championship this weekend. I was going to ask you, where are you still looking to expand Bass Nation? I mean, I know everywhere is the simple answer, but what are some places that don't have it yet that are kind of fishing hotbeds that you think should look into that?
Yeah, well, I don't actually look to expand Bass Nation anywhere, because I run them because of our anglers in our area. It's up to each state whether they want one or not. And so, like you said, Arkansas is getting revamped. Wisconsin's got their state championship. New Hampshire, I think, just had theirs or is going to this coming weekend also. Jerry Cornelius is working on Missouri. Oklahoma's got one. Was reached out to by West Virginia again the other day, because they did have one. A little bit of conflict with the boat president, and from what I can gather, I think it's kind of maybe 50-50 at fault, but it's just communication thing is all it is. And so anywhere where there's permits for lakes, there's always friction because they're limited. But I think West Virginia's wanting to get Crunk back up. South Carolina is revamped. They're doing really good. Yeah.
Get Crunk, West Virginia.
Yeah.
Hey, whatever happened to the Mountain State Kayaking? That used to be like the biggest club in the country. One of them. Are they still rolling
They
out there
used
like
to.
that?
I remember they would freaking come in and take over a whole half of the lake at Kentucky. There'd be 80 MSKA guys just with the whole thing closed off.
Yeah, them dudes used to run things. Is it still big, or is it kind of dwindled down over there?
I think it's dwindled down. That's where, Jody, Jeremiah, Matt, all kinds of great anglers came from there.
Isn't that where Russell? I think Russell Johnson went down there and took some lunch money and headed back to the house from the old MSKA boys.
I used to think he was from there.
No, he's just on the milk run, baby. Just running around taking that money, getting back to the house.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Ohio, and so I kind of feel like about every state, and I think New York is shutting down or something like that. Maybe Jersey.
COVID again?
I don't know, but Florida Bass Nation is super strong. Obviously, Duke does a good job with Texas, and I just forgot his name. It's a Cajun name in Louisiana. Super nice guy. They're doing a good job, so I feel like it's growing strong, and had kind of a little bit of not a tiff, but some passionate discussion with a few people. They're like, getting angry because some of the grassroots numbers are way off, and I'm like, man, we're just putting on a good tournament series, and people are fishing because they enjoy it. You need, and
you're getting more money back. You're getting more money back out of it too. Yeah. That's kind of what, when we talked about Bass Nation expanding, even us, having a discussion here in Tennessee, it's fun going out and throwing in 20 or $25, whatever. But you come home with $200, $250, whatever. But if you can go out and fish one of these Bass Nation events and come home with a couple thousand, obviously that's a little more appealing, I think.
Yeah, it is, and what we try to do, which is it's a struggle sometimes, because every time you do something, you want to make it as big and as bold as you can, but you don't. That's not always the right thing. And with Bass Nation, I want to keep it where an angler can afford to fish 4 of them a year to try to make a state championship. And because you can start adding. Like something we never did in TBKA, which is the reason we bought our own jerseys or paid our own way at state championships. We didn't do a whole back out of entry fee, because that money goes to the person that just beat all of us. Yeah. I don't think everybody should pay money in to pay for things that they're not going to use. You may not make state team. So now you just paid, $70, $80 during your entry fees during the year. And now you're not on the state team, but you finished first place and you took home $80 less than you probably should have. And so that's just my mind on it. And so, I don't want to do that with Bass Nation. So hopefully I'll always be able to get enough sponsor dollars to cover everything to where I don't have to have a state fee. But by no means does that mean, if that's what you're wanting to do in your hometown or your home Bass Nation, do it whatever way makes it where you can sustain it. If you have to have an extra $10 state fee and you hold that in your bank account to cover for awards and stuff, do it. Because, everybody's got to answer to somebody. And if you're spending $2 or $3 grand a year running a tournament series and that's out of your own pocket, you're not going to be able to do it for long, and I've done that. And, you start to resent things. So,
don't let the off-duty financial supervisor get wind of that.
That's right.
That's bad news there, man. I saw Philip White had a question about Arkansas having an open state championship. We've done that in the past. I don't think there is one this year. Get with Garrett Morgan. Reach out to him and ask him. I know next year he's trying to ramp up a 3 or 4 event series with the state championship for Bass Nation here. But I don't know if there's an open state championship this year.
Is he going to put water back in Conway, do you think?
Not yet. Right. When it does, it's going to be a little mini super. I say mini, compared to some of these big reservoirs. It's going to be a super lake when it's done. It's going to be awesome. Going to be awesome. Johnny Maddox is in the comments. He'll tell you all about that. He knows what's coming down there.
I like it.
Yeah.
And to Ronald Singletary, North Carolina has one. Vinny runs that one, and he has an open series one every year. I don't think he's announced when yet, but he will have one this year for y'all.
Vinny runs tournaments in North Carolina?
A few. He's revamping Queen City. I think that's going to be pretty exciting what he's doing with that. He's been slow rolling some teasers and stuff. So, we're all going to have to make a lot of adjustments. I'm, cautiously optimistic that next year will be good, but you never know, and so that's why we got to take care of what we do have, so that you don't jade people or burn somebody. And so that's why communication, I'll always over communicate. Probably I almost did it with the release of this schedule. I was messaging you that day, and I was like, what, let's just do it. I mean, I was like, I haven't had any chastising yet. I don't want to start.
I don't want to get you in trouble. I don't want to get you in trouble, Steve. Not on my account. I've got enough. I got enough on the card now.
People won't believe it, but you're actually several times kept me from getting in trouble. So,
hey, I'd rather be the one to get in trouble than you, Steve. I promise you that.
Yeah, man. I don't see any more questions for Steve in the comments. Anything you want to add about the upcoming events at Caddo? Anything about the championship before we wrap this thing up tonight, Steve? I don't want to keep you too long.
Oh no, man. Just reach out if you got any questions about signing up. TourneyX is easy. It's super streamlined. The payment process may show up as Facebook for whatever reason. Stripe has Facebook on it. Our boy may have his
Zuckerberg getting a cut off that boy.
Yeah, and so if you see that, you can trust it that that's where it's going is through that. And so I had to have several where I have to go in and call and handle a dispute or whatever. But but no, as I mentioned, I know Shreveport's a little different. There's some really good hotels around the Louisiana Downs where we're hosted out of. So plenty of that to go around. Reach out to me if you got any questions on any of that. And then just get ready, get ready for the championship. 5 will qualify from this Caddo event, and then we'll go through the top 50 in the Dakota Lithium Angler of the Year race, and then we'll have the Bass Nation State Championships. We'll send anglers from there. Got a question earlier. If you double qualify, like in a state championship and Dakota Lithium, I'll have that answer. I've got it, but I want to make sure I give you the exact quote on how that's handled if there's a double qualification. But it's in my other source of information. I don't have it with me. It's in my truck. So, but that's about it, man.
Information, my truck.
There we go, man.
Yeah, it's one of my notepads I leave laying around. So yeah, but I appreciate it. But I appreciate you guys and always being able to come over here and talk and ramble on about things. But try to be as
doors
direct
always
as I
open,
can.
pal. Doors always open.
Yeah, man. Hats off, Steve. Always a pleasure,
Appreciate
man.
y'all.
Keep killing it. Finish out the season strong, and I'm sure we'll have you back on again, probably for a fork preview.
All right, then. Y'all have a good time. I'll see y'all in a little bit. Thank
Later,
you.
man.
All right, later, homie.
Steve Owens, everybody.
Dun, dun,
All right.
dun.
We're going to do a giveaway, Seaguar giveaway tonight. And since we led the show with the Big Bass 250 and Eco Fishing Shop, we're going to use that as the hashtag tonight. So how about that?
Yes, and the winner, message me with Seaguar winner. That way when I search it in my DMs, it's easy to find after I forget.
Hey, and believe it or not, Steve-O is planning on coming to the Big Bass 250. Is that right?
He is riding with me. The last time we did this was to Ouachita, and we got pulled over like twice. So we're shooting for less pullovers and a great time. I'm probably going to pick up, honestly, I'll probably pick up Little Skinny, our musical guest, on the way out there as well, and just bring him and Steve-O, everybody in the big Cummins, rolling west.
Rolling deep. There we go. That's good stuff.
And we'll probably make Little Skinny drive. He's way more responsible than either of us. But
A lot of hashtags still coming in, dude. I don't want to cut this off.
No,
Scott, throw the hashtag on there, Scott. Captain Rex on Twitch says cheap viewers on bensonfoods.com. I wouldn't go to that website. I would not
we're gonna
go
get right
to
over
that
there,
one.
Captain. Capitan Rex, as a matter of fact.
Why does
like
our one
it.
Twitcher have to be a damn bot? Come on, Rex.
Dude, I don't know. I don't even know what Twitch is. So I thought that's what I do about midnight. Just
Start twitching.
Yeah, I just
Having
started
nightmares.
twitching a little bit. I didn't know what it was. I think somebody's breaking in my truck, trying to unlock my door. All right,
Yeah.
let's run this thing. Dale Hollow event is 12-7, according to Double D, Daniel Davis.
Who's it gonna be? A repeat winner tonight? Could it be Tyler? He's won before.
I feel like he has because I feel like I tried to get you to say his last name. Before.
I've mispronounced that guy's name before. I'll tell you that right now. So Tyler P. There you go, man.
Tyler P, slide in my DMs with your address. Actually, it's probably already there, but just to make sure, do it again with Seaguar winner. That way I can keep all of this stuff sorted out.
Yeah, man. There we go. Good show, Ryan.
All right. I'm going to go pack up and head to Bristol, Tennessee tomorrow for a couple days.
Enjoy.
Yes, sir.
See y'all next week.
Later.